What do I absolutely love about the Fantic? That's what we're here to talk about today, guys. If you haven't seen the video about things I don't like about the Fantic, make sure you check that out. There are a handful of things I really don't like about this bike, but there are a handful of things that I absolutely love about this bike. Let's start off with the YZ chassis. I personally really like the YZ250 chassis. It's a proven, known chassis, and I think it works really well for a lot of things. You can go to a track, you can go to the woods, you can do hard enduro, it works great. Now, not a lot of people have been doing a ton of hard enduro on YZ250 chassis because they haven't had electric start, they haven't had 300, they haven't had all those things, but now it does with the Fantic. So I really like the chassis. Yes, it is quote-unquote outdated. It's relatively stiff. I actually like it, and it works really well with the KYB suspension. I've done lots of KYB conversions to a lot of bikes, and they work pretty good, but I honestly don't think they work ever as good as they do on the YZ250 chassis, because that's what it was made for. That's what it was developed for, and it works really well. Next thing I really like the lights and the wiring on it. Now, the wiring harness itself it's okay, but what I'm getting to is the fact I love the fact that they set this bike up with a removable wiring harness. So the street harness just comes off, and it really limits the number of wires on this bike, even though it's fuel injected. But from the factory, it comes with wires for blinkers, wires for a horn, all kinds of stuff on there that you don't need if you're just going to be off-road with it, which is what I'm doing. And they set it up so it comes off super easy, and you just chuck this whole huge loom. I love that about it. I also really like the lights. The taillight and headlight work great. The brake light switches work really well. I haven't had the headlight out in real darkness yet, so hopefully that'll happen soon, and we'll get to check that out. But it seems like pretty good for a stock light. All right, the next two things that I like, I'm going to lump them together. These are the big things. These are the things that I really truly love about this bike, are the motor and the FI/ignition, so the electronics that run that motor. So if you guys don't know, this is a throttle body injected engine, so TBI. It's got I don't even know what brand throttle body that is. It doesn't have any markings on it. Someone said it's Delorto. It could be, I don't know. That's a little terrifying if you know much about Delorto, but it's working great. But what it is a twin injector throttle body with oil injection, and it works really well. That paired with the fact that it's got electronic power valve, and with the fact that this engine is absolutely incredible. It's honestly probably my favorite motor stock of any bike I've ever ridden. There's my Game Changer Loretta over there, which has an amazing engine too. That KTM counterbalance 6-speed, all that good stuff is really good. But honestly, out of the box, I really truly think this is better. Now, yes, it's a 5-speed. Yes, it's not counterbalanced, but I don't want to talk about that. That's in the other video, things I don't like about the 5-speed. But honestly, now that this is broken in, it just doesn't vibrate that much. I think they did a very good job balancing the crank to the piston, and it just isn't bad at all, really. And this engine is just absolutely magic. It's got so much low end, it's got so much top end, and then it's super controllable with the Athena map switch. So it's got an Athena ignition on it, which is controlling all the fueling and ignition, all that stuff, and the power valve. And with this map switch, you have two maps. You have a kind of a mellow map and a hot map. And then within each of those maps, you have 10 clicks of traction control, which kind of dumbs down. It's a little bit different than just a different whole map. So for instance, I have this thing right now in the hot map, but with 5 clicks of traction control. And what that does, what it feels like it does to me, what I'm experiencing, is that initial roll-on is just a little bit soft. So when you're on a really loose hill or a side hill and you're trying to just kind of ease your way up through some real dry, rocky stuff that's kind of wanting to spin the tire, it won't spin the tire, at least not as easy. But when you get it up and you get traction and you want to go fast and you twist it wide open, it's the full-on nasty blue fast map. So, God, I love it. I absolutely love this motor. It is so good. I don't think there's any need for a head or a tune or any of that stuff like you do with all the KTMs. It's not too rich. It's not too lean. It just runs really, really well. Now, I did just put an Oxa pipe and silencer on it, so we can see how that goes. But that's speaking from a stock pipe, stock silencer. So, yeah, I just cannot say how much I really like the FI / power valve / engine on this bike. I'm going to roll that into like two things. The electronics, so fuel injection, power valve, ignition is one, and motor is the other one. So a total of 4 things I really, really like about this bike. I am super happy with it so far. We've got 11 hours on it. I know that's not a lot, so make sure you stick around, stay subscribed, and share this with your friends and hit the notification bell and all the YouTube-y things to do, because we're going to be beating on it. And speaking of beating on it, the very next thing that's going to happen to this motorcycle is we're pushing it into my van and taking it to Lucerne Valley in California, and my kid is going to race this at the National Hare and Hound Round 1 Desert MCs, which, if you know, is one hell of a race. First 40 miles are crazy fast. Second 40 miles are really hard and nasty. So this thing's going to get absolutely put through its paces. My kid's an A-level rider. He's really, really talented. He loves this bike too because it's a lot like his YZ. Like, he rides my KTM and he enjoys it. It's a nice motorcycle and all that, but he rides a YZ250 most of the time, so this is very familiar. But yeah, there you go, guys. We'll go over it one more time. The 4 things that I absolutely love about this motorcycle: YZ chassis and suspension, huge. Lights and harnesses. I love the fact that you can delete that street harness, and I really like the lights. They seem to be good. The motor, absolutely brilliant. 300. It's got tons of torque, tons of top end. It's just got power everywhere. And then the FI / power valve / ignition, all the things that actually make the motor work. I really, really like them. Super adjustable, really easy to adjust, and big differences happen when you adjust them. So anyway, there you go, guys. There are the 4 things I love about the Fantic. Make sure you stick around. As I said before, we're going to be just beating on this thing. Make sure it's good. Oh, and yes, these are at least 99.9% sure they're coming to the United States. I don't know when, but they're coming. I'm not going to be a dealer. I don't want to be a dealer. I like to be able to say what I want to say about a machine, and I want to be able to buy the next thing that is cool and different. So I'm not going to be a dealer, but they will be available eventually, and when they are, I'll let you know where you can get them. Thank you guys for watching this. Make sure you check out the biggest sponsor of the channel, Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Use the link in the description. If you can't shop local first, use our link for Rocky Mountain. It helps make me money and helps me out to do all these things and buy crazy bikes. And Rocky Mountain is just a rad company. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you on the next one.